welcome to those of you who have been here in the past and those new to the commission. My name is Walter Burke. I am the chairperson of the Human Rights Commission. This is my first meeting leading the commission, so I appreciate your patience, and I think it's going to go well. So start off with a call to order and attendance. We can go around, starting with, let's do this about alphabetically. We do it that way. Anne, can you say your name and say that you're here?
Blake, I'm here.
Mara?
Mara Glupka here.
Tiffany?
I'm here.
And Tim?
I'm here.
And Tyler?
I'm here.
And Adrian?
Here.
Am I pronouncing your first name correctly?
It's Adrian. Yep.
Adrian, okay. And myself, Walter Burke.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So I think we are all here, and also present is our one of our liaisons, Simon.
Hey everybody, it's nice to be back. I'm a Human Rights Commission alum.
Oh, good.
And so I had the privilege of serving on the commission before I was a council member, and I'm really grateful to be back. Good to see everybody.
Excellent. And Mike, are you there? Mike Flaherty is our public safety liaison.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Yep. Mike Flaherty, Richfield PD, and I've been with the HRC for 3 years now. So.
Very happy to have you back. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Okay. So that is the call to order. I think next we do the approval of the agenda. I think the agenda was sent to everyone. It's from January 4th. Please review it if you haven't already. And if it's acceptable, I would need someone to make a motion to approve it, and then someone to second that motion.
I move we approve the agenda.
Thank you, Mara.
I will second.
Thank you, Simon. And just so
That was
everyone
me.
knows,
That was Tyler.
oh, Tyler, I'm sorry. Tyler.
Have someone that's doing secretary work here tonight?
Tiffany is my understanding is Tiffany is kindly doing that.
I am until we get a secretary, which is hopefully a new business.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. I am taking notes for this meeting.
Yeah, I was told that is something we will need to do today, so we will get that done. So it looks like all in favor say, as far as approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anyone not in favor? All right, the agenda is approved. And then approval of the minutes. I'm sorry, the minutes is from January 4th.
Point of order.
Yes, please.
I want to ask Mike, I guess. Are we supposed to do, when we take a vote, we're supposed to have everybody do their vote separately because we're online? That seems like a meeting that I remember, or I'm sorry, a rule that I remember a meeting. Is there something to that, Mike?
We're kind of doing a roll call type thing, weren't we?
That's what we were doing, yeah. Yeah, and
Okay.
the best thing for you, Walter, is to get a printed out list of all the members of the commission, so then you can do all that. When we're online, you can just go down the list.
I have it right for me. I'll do that right now.
Okay.
So just to go back, so again, we're approval of the agenda. We've already had a motion and it was seconded. So I will go through the roster, and please say if, whether you're in favor or not of approving the agenda. Ann? I'm sorry? Okay. And we can also do a thumbs up or thumbs down if that helps. So, Mara?
Aye.
Tiffany?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Adrian?
Aye.
And I'm in approval. But it looks like it's approved. So then approval of the minutes. Again, the minutes were sent out to commission members, the minutes from January 4th. Hopefully you've all had a chance to look at it. Does anyone have any concerns about the minutes?
I move we approve.
Thank you, Mara. Anyone second?
I second.
Thank you, Ann. So I'll go through the roll again. So Ann, you're in favor of it, and Mara, you're in favor of it. Tiffany?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Adrian?
Aye.
And I'm in favor of it. All right. So I don't see any members of the public here. So I think we can proceed from there. So we go to the reports. You know, the only thing I wanted to report is I was trying to pull it up quickly and I couldn't pull it up, but just wanted to, you know, it'd be nice to start with a reminder. I'm looking at the mission of the Human Rights Commission, and I'm just going to read it from the website, is to help to secure human rights and equal opportunity for the residents of Richfield in the areas of housing, employment, public accommodations, public services, and education, and to align ourselves with goals set forth in the Minnesota Human Rights Act. And then when I looked in the ordinances that, from the Richfield ordinances that establishes the Human Rights Commission, it really sets up three things that we're supposed to be doing. One is to educate, one is to promote, and then to advocate for the citizens of Richfield in human rights. And so hopefully, you know, just to get as a quick reminder of that, hopefully everything we do can be focused on those things and trying to do those things. I think the example I would use was what Mara did this past year with the, God, what is the phrase, Mara, of the group that you were trying to get a law passed?
Conversion therapy ban?
Exactly. You know, and Mara made a great effort to get laws changed, and I know Mara is still working on that. But I think just as important was to educate people about that. And to me, that's a great example of the kind of stuff that the Human Rights Commission can do, is not only to educate and make people aware, but to advocate when possible. And that advocacy can happen in different ways. It can happen in letters that the commission can put forth, or to the mayor or the city council, or you know, any kind of efforts like that. So hopefully we can think about those things, and if anyone has ideas on how to further that, that would be wonderful. So I just wanted to, that's the only thing that the chair has to report. It's just a quick reminder of what the mission of the Human Rights Commission is. So thank you for indulging me. Our vice chair, anything to report? Sorry, you're muted.
Tiffany.
Okay, good, because I actually just like lost my voice, so it was really embarrassing. So I'm glad it was on mute. But hi everybody, I'm your vice chair, Tiffany, and I have nothing to report right now. I'm connecting with the previous vice chair, and I'll be getting all of the Human Rights Commission stuff, and hopefully looking through it and being able to see what things we have, and if we do any events, we'll have kind of an inventory. So no report as of now, but other than that, just moving and grooving.
And again, you are kind enough to be our secretary for tonight. and we'll need to, hopefully someone can step up and be the secretary from here on out.
Yes.
But, you know, I feel rude that we've gone as far as we have without doing something that's very important. It would be nice for the new members to introduce yourselves. My apologies for not, I should have done that a lot sooner.
Technically, it's under new business, so if you're going by
Is it?
by
Oh,
the
okay.
bullet point order, you're still good.
Excellent. Thank you for
definitely.
reminding me.
Yeah,
I
definitely
knew
the
I
main
put it
point of
in-
the night, though.
I knew I put it in there somewhere. So okay, we'll wait till that. So
Tiffany,
thank
could I motion to have the summary of your report be moving and grooving?
You know what? Maybe, just maybe.
You are the
The
secretary
minutes
tonight, so you
are
can do.
already in a total dismay, so we'll see. That might be on there.
Um,
Yeah.
So let's go to liaison reports. Simon, do you mind going first?
No, not at all. I'm trying to think of reports or reports from the council that that would be relevant to the group. And I don't have anything to report city council wise, but if I could just have a personal privilege related to an appellate case that that I was really honored we won a couple weeks ago. We were able to establish voting rights in precinct caucuses that we were able to have in both parties for the first time. The courts found that people couldn't be civilly fined or criminally charged if they either were on probation or are a non-citizen and participated in a party caucus. And the courts also found for the first time that if the government threatens to take an action, that also could violate people's speech rights. They don't actually have to put somebody in jail or put somebody or find somebody. So that was a little civil rights victory, and I'm a little excited about it. So forgive the personal privilege, but I just wanted to share that's some good news. We made that news in Richfield.
That is definitely good news, and I'm assuming this was part of your day job. Is that what you're telling us?
That's part of my day job. And for folks that know community activist and disability advocate Noah McCourt, he was our client, and he is also a DFL outreach coordinator, but was not eligible to be a delegate for all the work he did with the party. And so the party last week voted to change their rules, and it's not a partisan thing; it affects both parties. And any group of private citizens that want to get together and say we want to choose who we want to choose to establish our party platform. And so so yeah, this is a day job activity. But thank you for indulging me.
Not at all, and congratulations, and definitely, regardless of what political party you're part of, it's in everyone's favor. So excellent work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mike, do you have anything to share with us?
No, if you've seen the news the last couple of days, we've been pretty busy in our town.
Yep.
So I can answer any questions related to that incident if needed. If you've been watching the news, you kind of know what's been going on. So I will. No, I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, definitely want to take note of. I'm just going to lay it out there. I want to give to you, and hopefully you can forward it to the force, of appreciation to first responders, police, just exemplary of how so far how it's been handled, and greatly appreciate it. For what it's worth, it's a 3-minute walk from my house, and I walk on that bike path all the time. And I'm sure if I wasn't working from my basement, I would have heard it. And it's quite a scary thing. And to be quite honest, that's something you know, I wonder if it would be appropriate for the commission to put together a letter with a concern about violence and access to guns, and perhaps someone can, you know, draft some language. We can talk about that in the work plan. But Mike, please extend thanks to all first responders from Richfield in that matter from the commission. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for their support.
Okay, so
Oh, it looks
So
like Anne has a question. Anne, are you on mute?
I'm sorry, Ann, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to interject. My 12-year-old is a 6th grader over at South Education. And so I had to go with all the other parents to the park to be reunified after lockdown was ended. And I want to give some credit to all of the police officers that I interacted with that day, because I'm sure I, like every other parent, was about this close to a full meltdown.
Yeah.
It was very stressful. There was a period of time we didn't know what was going on. And even though I knew my child was safe and he was going to come back to me, just the fact that this had happened so close to him was really, really stressful. And all of the officers were incredibly kind and patient with all of us trying to get our kids back. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, that school is a very unique setting. So the just the logistics to get the students over to Donaldson Park was quite a task. It was quite an undertaking. So yeah, there was a lot of work put into that. So again, I appreciate the support.
Thank you.
And if I could just add briefly, just about how extraordinary Mike, the law enforcement's response was and what it meant to the family. I was with the family this morning, and of course you can imagine the grief that they're in right now. But what it means to hours after this tragedy took place, not just for them, but for so many in the community, to know that the suspects were immediately apprehended, that just in the midst of extraordinary grief, it just provides solace for lots of folks in the community. And so I just want to highlight, and I know that's a group effort, but we also know that RPD is this is our investigation, and you folks led that, and everybody in the community and the family is very mindful of that. So thank you, and I shared that thanks with Chief Henthorn, but as you can share those things, that's extraordinary service and work.
No,
oh, sorry.
thank you very much. I mean, it was a great partnership with a number of law enforcement agencies, but specifically, Hennepin County has a group called VOTOF, Violent Offender Task Force, and the partnership, it's been a long partnership we've had with that group of people, and with their help and FBI and everybody else, but specifically with their help, we had these guys in custody 5 hours after the shooting. So it was great police work.
Thank you for that, Mike. And I would echo everything that's been said here just about the response. I think this could have gone a lot more poorly than it did. And I'm a Richfield student mom as well. I don't have kiddos who are old enough to be at that school, but I can't imagine Anne and others in the community who had that direct impact. It's super, super scary. So I'm glad your kiddos are okay. The only question I have is, obviously beyond commending people for just showing up and doing a really, really great job, is there anything going on and just to address the most directly impacted in the community? Obviously, there's a student who lost their life. There's another student who's in critical condition. Is there anything that we can do beyond just condemning this sort of violence, but actually supporting the impacts of the violence for those two students in particular?
I know there were a lot of resources at SEC today. Hennepin County had a lot of mental health, but I'm not exactly sure who showed up at the school today, but I know a lot of resources were diverted to that school. So that's been taken care of. The families that were impacted, our social worker has been working with them, has been put in touch with them. So as far as a broader, I don't know. I thought the mayor during the press conference said some really great things. So I don't know what you do about that broader community wellness piece, but.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we just, maybe the resources are already there. I just want to make sure, obviously there's the community impact, but also like somebody has to bury a child, somebody has to pay medical bills. I just want to make sure like those really material costs are being considered.
There is a GoFundMe for the family that has been started.
Yeah.
And Mike, would the family be eligible for any victim assistance?
That information was provided. Now, I don't want to get into too many details. The family structure was unique. So that I'm not...
Mike, could I jump in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
And so I just it just responds to what the community is doing, what we can do. I think I would agree that our mayor is just, we already know she's incredible, but is just operating in great form and just reaching out and connecting with folks and being present. And also, as they're working with the county, our county commissioner, Debbie Gotel, has been in touch with the family too, and just making sure, you know, of course, the county is a big place and there are other resources, and our social worker, I know that meant a lot to them to have the social worker that's part of our public safety team that was there. But Debbie personally, or Commissioner Gotel, I should just made sure we're going to make sure that they don't get stuck in any bureaucratic, you know, ravines, and that keeps moving forward. In terms of like a broader community conversation about violence and youth violence, and the children that are impacted. For the children, BJ Skoog is a youth worker and volunteer that's been working with young people for Young Life for a lot of years, and so, and I know he knew Jamari personally, and so did Cesar, who also works with Young Life, and so they've been working with the kids directly. And Justin Terrell, who's the executive director of the Minnesota Criminal Justice Research Council, or Justice Research Council, and Pastor Sam Nero, the Church of New Life, and some other folks have talked about convening a broader conversation in the next week or two, but there's no date, but those are some of the conversations that at least I've been aware of that people are having to reflect. So for kiddo outreach, BJ Skoog is probably a great point of contact, and for community outreach, Justin Terrell might be a good point of contact, and Reverend Sam Nero also.
I would agree.
May I speak?
Any other comments or conversation? Oh, go ahead, Mar.
Yes, please. I'd like to propose that we send flowers and condolences to the family of Jamari Rice. And perhaps the other family as well, whose name I don't have. You know, something on behalf of the Richfield Human Rights Commission. We are so sorry for your loss.
Mm-hmm.
And we're working on issues that will hopefully prevent incidents like this. Something like that. I don't know.
And
I know we had money that we didn't spend last year.
Yeah.
So,
I was just gonna say it's a great use of the funds. Would you mind doing something like that?
me?
You mind?
Look at what I did. Yeah, okay. I'll do something.
can I make it slightly more complicated?
No.
Without that permission, but begging your pardon, we have there, and Officer Flaherty alluded to this a little bit. We have Cortez Rice, who is incarcerated right now, and we have Sharnice James, who's the mother, and she's all, of course, everybody's in grief, but then there's also a grandma and auntie that were serving as his primary residence also while his father was incarcerated. So they're kind of 2 to 3 groups of people who were primary caregivers. So we could maybe send something to the family through Church and New Life to touch everybody. But I could get the names if we wanted to acknowledge all the family members or wanted to send a couple of bouquets. Just
What does the New Life have to do with anything?
because I believe they're going to have the funeral there.
Oh.
Or I could find the name of the funeral home. I think I know where they settled on a funeral, but I'm not sure. I could find there's probably some central location, but maybe the best idea is to get the names of all the primary caregivers so we can include them all. And I won't put that on you, Mara. I'll do the homework.
You're gonna get that for me, and would you help me with that, Simon?
Absolutely.
Well, why don't you and I work on that then? How about, I don't know, can you meet sometime on Zoom in the next few days or?
For sure. Let's just text and we can either after tonight or tomorrow. We can.
Yeah, let's
figure
meet
it out.
like Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. Late
That
morning,
sounds good.
can we do that?
That'd be great.
Well, I'll set something up and send it to you.
Thank you both. That's wonderful.
Walter, it's Susie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not to be a Debbie Downer, but unfortunately, the HRC budget does not roll over from year to year. So if you didn't use it last year, you lose it. So you start over again this year with the $500. So
Well, I
just
think-
wanted to make sure you were aware of that. I didn't
know that.
put a damper on the conversation.
Yeah,
Well,
you
it's
did.
good to know now to use it or lose it. So that's it's good to know that now in January.
Did I hear that? Susie?
It's $500.
$500, correct.
Okay,
I think-
we'll just be responsible with the flowers we buy.
I have a question. Is there any way to validate that we are not the only, I mean, I don't think we want to have multiple organizations within the same city sending multiple sort of duplicative bouquets. I love the idea, but both because of budgetary concerns and then also just like not wanting to overwhelm the families. Is there any way to validate that the same efforts aren't taking place across the city? And I once again love the idea. I just want to make sure we're being
Simon, are you aware of if the city or if the council is sending flowers?
I'm not aware that the city or the council is sending flowers. So I would think that if we did it, it would be on behalf of the city. And in that regards, I'm sure the mayor and the council would love to sign and send along with other officers and staff. We could.
And to that point, if we are sending it on behalf of the city, does it need to come out of this particular budget?
That's a good question. That I don't know. I think if we want to take action, it probably would come out of our budget. But we could also, Mike, what do you think it would be a distraction, or would officers want to sign a card or anything like that?
They have their hands full.
Of course.
I can certainly ask, or if there's one to pass around.
Based on how frugal we were last year, I don't anticipate that some flowers is going to break the budget. And I think we'll be. I'm glad you brought that up, but I think we'll be okay. And it's certainly an important and worthwhile thing to do. And I think you agree with that. So, but thank you for bringing up that issue. And unless anyone else has concerns about it being a burden on the budget,
Well, if anybody would like to put a limit on what we spend, we can entertain that.
no,
You got
Mara, I think
$500, you want to cap it at 75 or something like that? I don't know. Or 50, I don't know. I don't know how much flowers cost these days that you send.
I think the last time I sent flowers to somebody, it was like $75 and then like another 25 for like delivery. So I'm okay with capping it at 100, but if anybody else has a different opinion, definitely let me know. I do know historically, for historical context, last year we didn't actually tap into our budget, I believe. So I think if we do this, I think we can, and there are some events that we already know we're postponing. So I think that this should be okay.
Yeah, I hope my comment didn't seem like it was unsupportive of this.
Oh, no.
I'm
I
just a big
definitely
fan
know what you
money.
mean. Especially because when I was this is my second year, and my first year, I didn't even know we had a budget until probably this meeting. So
Yep.
so
I
I
was
think it's totally
assuming that we had a
reasonable.
carryover. I really was, so. I thought the
Oh,
money we didn't spend last year was gonna be available, so.
yeah.
I
You know,
wish
for
I'd
what
have
it,
known that. I would have made sure that we spent it somewhere. You know? I would have.
Yeah.
Too late now.
so I don't know if procedurally this is the right time to do it, but it's since we're talking about the commission taking action and spending money, it seems appropriate for someone to make a motion to do that and then someone second it and then we can vote on it. Does that sound all right?
I move we spend $100 and send flowers to the families involved that were victims of, you know.
Yep. And
I second.
that's great.
Wait,
Uh,
who I'm so sorry to do this. Do you know who moved and then who seconded?
I move.
Yep.
Okay, and then who was the second?
Adrian.
Adrian.
Okay, perfect.
And let me quickly go through the roster. Anne, are you in favor?
Aye.
And Tiffany?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Tyler?
Sorry, I was muted there. Aye.
And so am I. So it's unanimous.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mara. You made the motion. We assumed as much. Sorry, I'll do that next time. Sorry.
You told me to keep an eye on you.
Yeah, you're doing great. Thank you. Okay. So let's try again for introductions. Adrian, if you would, please introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Adrian Lee. Am I muted? No, I'm not. Okay. I'm Adrian Lee. I moved to Richfield in May of last year. I grew up kind of all over the Twin Cities, mostly between North Minneapolis and Bloomington. So Richfield doesn't feel super unfamiliar to me. I have lived in just about every Minneapolis neighborhood, most recently Diamond Lake area before moving to Richfield. I am a single mom of 2 kiddos. I've got a 3-year-old who's about to be 4 and a 5-year-old who's about to be 6, Elliot and Viv. They're fun. And yeah, a lifelong Minnesota resident. My mom's family is from here many generations back, and my dad's family is from rural Oklahoma. We still have farmland down there. So super happy to be a Richfield resident and happy to be hopefully deeply involved with the community here.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Tim, you would introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Garvey. I moved to Richfield in August of this past year. I'm here with my wife and 1 child, with 1 on the way, Clara, who is 2.5 years old as of yesterday. And I grew up in Edina and have also lived around the Twin Cities for the most part. So Edina shares a border with Richfield, so I'm pretty familiar with the general area. Yeah, I guess I just wanted to say what really drew me to this particular commission was I'm an attorney who does a fair amount of pro bono work. And when I was interviewing with the city council and with the mayor, they'd mentioned that this commission was looking to set up a volunteer legal clinic or practice of some kind. So, I'm just here to help out however I can, I guess. And the city council decided to put me here, and I'm very grateful for it. So, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Yes, we'll talk about the legal advice clinic coming up, and yeah, we'll save a chair for you. It's perfect. It's plenty of room. So
You just endeared yourself to Walter. That's his brainchild.
I was about to say Walter's heart grew 10 times today.
wow. So we'll see what happens. But excellent. It's good to meet you both. For current members, can we do some quick introductions to our new members? Anne, do you mind going first?
Hi, I'm Anne. I grew up in Orange County, California, but I've lived in Richfield for about 15 years now. I'm a mother of 7. My oldest is 24. My youngest is 10. I was a nurse until my youngest was born with a significant disability and required full-time stay-at-home mom care. Of my 7 children, 6 of them have some kind of diagnosis. My kids are part Latino. I've got kids that are LGBTQ, so that's an issue that's near and dear to my heart. Yeah, I'm all over the place and busy a lot, but what happens to people matters to me, so this was a really great commission for me to be a part of. Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you. Mara?
Yeah, hi, I'm Mara Glupka. I was last year's chair, and this is my 3rd year on the commission. I'm a transgender woman. My big thing in life is I'm the director of Transforming Families Minnesota, a support organization for transgender youth and their parents. Also a parent to 3 sons in their 30s, and a member of a bunch of other things, and active in a lot of other things. And trying to keep it to a better limit than I have been successfully doing that. Yeah,
And did a great job as the chairperson, so
thanks, Walter.
definitely set a good role model. Tiffany, please.
Yeah, so I'm Tiffany. I am 26 and I've lived in Richfield for about 4 years. I'm originally from the Cottage Grove, Woodbury area and moved here after college. Me and my husband, we actually just bought our first house, well, not just anymore. The pandemic years have faded away. So seems like it was just yesterday, but it was actually about 2 years ago. And we have 1 dog and a guinea pig, and then we also have a couple of chickens. So if you're ever on Pillsbury Lane or Pillsbury Road and you see like a coop behind a garage, that's my house, and you can always knock on the door, and if we have any, I'll give you some eggs.
Awesome.
Eggs, excellent.
Tyler, please.
Sure, thanks, Walter. My name is Tyler Olson. Originally from small town Iowa. Moved up here a little bit after college, met my wife, and then we bought our house here in Richfield a couple weeks before the pandemic began. Yeah, Tiffany, I can definitely relate to that time just disappearing, but February 2020, so been here for 2 years in Richfield. Heard about this commission through my neighbor, I guess just the commissions in general, and then gravitated towards this one just because it's pretty, broad in scope, which I like. It gives you, a lot of opportunity to collaborate and kind of touch a bunch of different areas. I think we've got a pretty good representation of, just different backgrounds, different types of people, which I think is a really cool thing, and something that I hope to, in my work with the commission, kind of hope to focus on, use the privileges that I have to, help others in whatever way I can.
Okay. My name is Walter Burke. It's my 2nd year on the commission, 1st year as the chairperson. Originally from the East Coast, New Jersey. Don't hold it against me. When I get agitated, you may hear my accent pop out, so you've been warned.
Nope, this is Walter.
Okay. Lived in Minnesota since 1991. I actually got here from Tucson 1 month before the October blizzard. So I went from 118 degrees to the October blizzard in about a month and a half. And I was very happy. I could use my cross-country skis up and down the road. Went shopping using my cross-country skis. I thought, this is great. So I've learned better now. I know now that it's really cold. So been living in Richfield going on 7 or 8 years now. And before that was living in Southwest Minneapolis area. And I'm very happy to be on this side of Highway 62. The roads get plowed and the potholes get filled, and just very happy to be on this side of the Highway 62. So that's me. Mike, do you want any introduction?
Mike Flaherty, Deputy Chief with Richfield PD. I've been with the department for 26 years. And it's been really great. I love being a part of the Richfield community, and I'm really, really proud of this police department. So It's been a great 26 years. It feels like I started yesterday. It's just been a really, really great ride. So thank you to the two new people that get involved in your community. That's really cool. And I look forward to building a relationship with you guys too. So thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Susie, do you mind saying who you are, what your role is?
My name is Susie. I work for the best police department here in the state, the best officers, Richfield, and the best boss too, DC Flaherty. I live here in town as well, and I've been with the department. This will be my 5th year.
And your role?
I am the woman behind the curtains, so I'm the one who sends you the meeting invites, the post stuff to the website, gets you your agenda and minutes, and then sets up the virtual meetings.
You can call yourself the puppet master. That's fine. We get it.
That's okay.
I'll Venmo you the $10.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, wonderful.
I was originally from Winona, and I've been living in Richfield for 7 years now.
Excellent, thank you. All right, so next we have introduction of our new city council liaison, Simon. Simon, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Introduce yourself, please.
Hello. Well, good evening, everybody. Simon Troutman. I'm a Richfield City Council member in my 2nd term, and prior to that, I was on the Human Rights Commission. I'm actually a 3rd generation Richfielder, and so my grandfather lived and passed away in the house that I live in today. So I feel pretty rooted in this community. I also have a law practice in Elliott Park in Minneapolis, and talked about that a little bit. And then there's another project that I have that I wouldn't use this forum to talk about, but if anybody's curious,
I'm asking you to. I'm asking you to.
Well, I'm running for Hennepin County Attorney, and so I won't say more than that because I don't want to. This space is about doing the work of human rights and not about me advocating for my own platform. But if you'd like to talk about that outside of this, it's a big project and would welcome everybody's help, of course. Thank you, and thank you for asking, Walter.
Yeah, I'm biting my tongue and also not saying. I'd like to say things about it, and I'll do that. How's that? But
thank you.
Definitely won't say anything more than that. This is not the forum for it. Thank you. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Next thing on the new business is a update about the Equity and Inclusion Administrator for Richfield. Mike, do you have any news about that?
Yeah, I got a brief email from the city side from Chris Swanson. So the timeline for that position to be filled is midsummer, and they want to make some changes to the position based on Belanca, who was our last equity coordinator. I don't know the details, but she had some suggestions to make the position more effective. So it sounds like they're going to do something maybe a little different there. But really the timeline is midsummer. I think, and Councilperson Troutman can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this might be not put on hold, but the process slowed down a little bit. The city is in a really comprehensive strategic planning process, and I'm just assuming that maybe this position will be a part of that process. And again, I'm only speculating, but midsummer seems like a ways out. I'm sure it'll be here before we know it, but anyway, that's the information I have.
Simon, I think you're muted.
Thanks, Deputy Chief. I think they're being very intentional about the hiring process. So there's not necessarily a delay, but it's a position that we were very strategic in wanting to make an investment in this direction. And for those that are maybe newer to the community, we hired someone who is absolutely incredible. Actually, a very good personal friend of mine, Bill Green, who was with us for about 8 weeks, and then got a terminal diagnosis of cancer. And we lost Bill, and he was really active behind the scenes, for while he was fighting his last fight with cancer. But then subsequent to that, we had Blanca, who had been with the city for a number of years, and she did great, and then had this incredible once in a lifetime opportunity. So we just really want to have a very thorough search, and make sure. So there's not a pause on the position, but we just want to make sure we hire really strategically for that position. But that does leave us with some transition in that position.
Okay, great. Thank you both for the update. So moving on to some unfinished business, I'll give you an update on the legal advice clinic. So it looks like Richfield Community Center will be the location. Still have trying to figure out what date. It looks like it's going to be on a Friday instead of a Thursday. It looks like Thursdays are quite booked up at the community center. So we're looking at Friday afternoon from 1 to 4 p.m. 2 dates are available, April 22nd and May 6th. I'm leaning towards May 6th. The extra time would be nice, and the better weather would be nice also. So, but I'll certainly inform the commission once the date is nailed down. Part of figuring that out is contacting the attorneys who have already tentatively volunteered to attend, to see how it fits in with their schedules. Certainly, members of the commission, if at all possible, it'd be great if you could be there to give you an update on what it's going to be. It's going to be a legal advice clinic. We have volunteer attorneys, and I think we have 2 volunteer attorneys in our presence right now. Excellent, good. It'll be a legal advice clinic, so there won't be anyone being represented from this. It's a chance for the public to get their legal questions answered. We're focusing on the areas of family law, consumer rights, criminal expungement, housing, things that fit in with the commission, possibly immigration. I think we have an attorney who's willing to do some immigration. And this is the first time the commission, to my knowledge, is doing anything like this, and hopefully it'll become a yearly event. And so that's what the plan is. So any questions from new or any commission members? Any questions about it?
I have a question. Are we going to be providing like water or snacks at all?
I think this first time around, and just want to keep it as simple as possible.
Okay.
Something we can certainly do in the future. I'm one of these people that tries to make it idiot-proof for myself. So masks, that's a very good question. I think that by now, people should know to bring masks. We can certainly make.
I think maybe we should invest in like 100-pack of just those blue masks or something.
I'd be willing to volunteer, and I'll bring a box. I've got a box of 75 sitting in the closet.
Okay.
So I'll bring a box. There's no need.
Okay.
So.
And then I have some hand sanitizer extra that I can just bring that too. I had a few friends who had weddings, so they have all this extra hand sanitizer.
Excellent, good. The only 2 things that I still need to work on is the waiver that people will sign, making it clear that they're not going to be represented, and explains the limitations of the advice. And then an intake sheet. The intake sheet, I'm still trying to figure out the workflow for this. It would be nice to capture not people's names and their ethnic and other information, but to have a tally of who's what gender people are, what race or ethnicity. It would be nice to get some information about that to see who's being helped. Again, not to identify individuals, but just to get that in the aggregate.
Would there be like a sign up before the event, or are you thinking of like a physical sign up on the date,
It's
which would
just,
be your control?
yeah, it's just going to be walk right in, just a walk-in clinic.
Could we just
And
make people fill out XYZ beforehand?
yep, it'll be a single sheet of paper. It's not going to be too detailed.
Got
And most importantly, what I'm planning is after they fill it out, the other half of that sheet would be the place where the attorney can put down advice and then check off boxes as to what resources the attorney thinks would benefit them, whether it's the self-help center at the courts or legal aid or any other legal resources or administrative agencies that the attorney thinks they would benefit, and then contact information for that. So the person fills it out, the intake person keeps a track of whatever information they need to keep track of, and then the person actually leaves with that sheet. So all their information will be on that sheet, and they can take it with them.
Sorry
Walter?
for like one more question, but do
Yeah,
we
of
know, I don't know when this event is planned or how much lead time there is, but I know that the State Attorney General's office has an entire consumer division that's really geared towards addressing like really common issues. Do you think we could
Yep.
ask for a representative of that office to be present as well? I mean, it could be someone, an analyst.
I have been at legal advice clinics where we do have someone from the AG's, actually an attorney from the AG's office present. I think this first time around, again, the idea of trying to keep it as simple as possible. I mean, we have about 8 to 10 volunteer attorneys. So I think that I would like to put that on the back burner, but actually some of the legal clinics I've been to in the past, not only have we had someone from the AG's office, we've had people from Hennepin County Child Support Office who can look up information and give people information. What other organizations? Sometimes a county attorney will show up, and again, can give people information, look up their case and say what's possible. Long-term plan would be to have the Richfield city attorney there and talk with people about criminal expungements, because if sometimes the city attorney is the prosecutor in some cases, criminal cases, and the prosecutor has the power to expunge cases if they think it's worthwhile. So, but again, if this first time around, I'd like to keep it pretty simple, and we can certainly add on based on the success of this one. So, yes, sir.
Oh, I'd be happy to reach out to our city attorney on the criminal side, the prosecutor. I know he's done a lot of work on expungements, particularly in the city. And we've had, so he might be interested in that. That could be, whether he has time or not, it would be, we could at least do that.
Excellent. Good. Thank you. Yeah.
And then
Walter-
sorry, go ahead, Tim.
Sorry, I just wanted to mention real quick while we were on the topic. Have you reached out at all to either the Advocates for Human Rights or the Volunteer Lawyers Network, just in case there are a couple of instances where, the attorney thinks that full representation might be required within a short period of time? Yeah, I'll
that's
let you answer.
That's a good question. The only outside organization I was thinking of contacting was Volunteer Lawyers Network, because again, this is the kind of thing that they do all the time, and I've worked with them in the past. I hadn't thought of the Advocates for Human Rights. What it might be useful is if any of you have resources that you want me to put on this list for the attorneys to check off, if you could give me suggested names. You don't have to give me the contact phone number, just give me the name of the organization, and I'll see my best. I'll see how well I can get all these different resources on a single sheet of paper with phone numbers. But I think it would be useful for attorneys in giving their advice to check off a box and say, you know what, based on what you've told me, these are the organizations that would best be able to help you. So good idea. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have one thing. So for promotion of it, so I'm not a lawyer, but I majored in marketing, so I have a little bit of help. No, but I was wondering, how are we going to advertise? Because I was thinking if you could get me, once you confirm the date, the details, maybe some categories of law, people could come in with questions. I'm not like good at like digital media, but I can like scrape by sometimes. So if anybody else is really good with digital media and marketing or making like Instagram like photo things, that could be my guest, but I can try. And then maybe we could ask the city to share it on like the city page, and then I, as the co-chair and social media person, now that we added that to my list, I could maybe share it to the community page, but any other like marketing ideas? We could maybe print out flyers or something. I could like email you all like a mock-up, and then everyone could like print out like 3 of them, and then like if they go to the co-op or to a like a normal like a grocery store or anything like that, they could just put it up. Any other ideas of that like nature?
Do we have like a social presence, or are we just aligned with the city's social presences, like in terms of accounts?
So we're aligned with the city. So basically, we have actually never really needed to post anything. A lot of the projects that we've taken on, we've actually been a lot more of the support end. So they will have like their main own feeds that they'll be posting on. So I assume, Simon, I don't know how hard it is to like you like get something on the Richfield City Council like Facebook page.
To promote an event like this, not hard. I will say
Okay.
Neil is an amazing human who punches above his weight for our social media presence, and we do have Brad Drana as a communications officer in the police department. He has one other part-time employee, so I would say his bandwidth is narrow. But if we have something that we need him to push out, he can. It's not a large bureaucratic process to get that pushed out.
Well, I'm happy
Okay.
to. I mean, I am like communications is my job.
Oh,
Side of this, so I'm happy to assist. I do think, Tiffany, like you were alluding to, probably the most effective thing we could do, which is if we can get some physical copies, getting them into like all of those hub businesses, potentially getting them into the Super Target. Like those are really big, like central locations for our Richfield populace. But in terms of drafting whatever copy, if you want to partner, I'm happy to help with that
yes,
list.
yes, yes. I'll never say no to that. That sounds amazing. So that would be awesome. Walter, if you could, when you get more information on this, let us know. And then if it's in May, we would have some lead time, so we could meet end of March, early April, comfortable in person or over Zoom, because then we'll have our laptops and stuff. And we can really try to knock out like a plan, like get some social media postings we could get done. And I know for a lot of the organizations and like companies I've worked for, we always start basically like a month to half a month out, just so people don't like forget about it or get stale. So I was thinking maybe starting to promote this. If it was like May 6th, again, these are just like dates that whatever, but we could probably start promoting it the week of like April 11th. And that gives us basically a 4-week time frame where people will be able to see it. They could if we do flyers, we could do tug-aways where we'll have like the date and time and all of that. And then I don't know, also just like I like looked up legal clinics for like a hot second. Sorry, I'm like just blabbering, but
You're the one taking notes, so it's okay.
We love the excitement.
You're the one taking the minutes, so talk as fast as you like, as long as you can keep up.
The note is literally probably on a Friday afternoon, maybe May 6th. So that is what we're getting for this. But no, I was thinking, do we want to put on the posters, because some of them had like no police presence, or like law enforcement won't be available. And I know we kind of talked intentionally with you, Mike, about having it not be in the city council because some people might not find that place as welcoming. And so would we want to put that on the flyer as well?
That's a tough one. I mean, I've worked at legal aid, and all the legal aid clinics that we have ever done, we've never had to mention anything like that.
Okay, that's totally fine.
We've had clinics at like up in Anoka Law Library and public libraries, and I don't recall us ever making it explicit that there wouldn't be law enforcement presence. I don't think we've ever felt the need. Tim?
If you wanted to maybe, for lack of a better term, soft pedal that idea, you could just mention that, all conversations will be privileged, because that's 100% true. They will be. And then that will give people a sense of security without necessarily advertising that there's going to be, absolutely no police presence whatsoever. if there are any concerns over that.
I like that idea a lot better. That's a good input.
That'll work. All right. So yeah, I'll try my best to make it sometime in May to give a little more time. And once I get the date, by the next meeting, I'll definitely have the date, and we can put in that extra detail. You know, the other thing that to keep in mind is something that's not on the agenda that is relevant to outreach is Tyler's work with outreach to different community groups. And if it's okay, we'll just flow into that topic. Tyler, do you want to go ahead and talk?
Sure. Yeah. So some background for Adrian and Tim. We kind of, initiated these conversations with Blanca, who was the previous diversity, equity, inclusion administrator. Essentially how to drive greater engagement in the community, like, self-representation, getting people from all different neighborhoods to step forward and feel like they can represent themselves. So definitely going to be an ongoing discussion that kind of unfolds over months and years, rather than just being able to, go grab some flyers, drop them somewhere, and hope people sign up. It's going to be a very deliberate, concerted effort. It's kind of my, I guess, pet project, more or less, something I hope to spend a lot of time on over the next year, but at the same time recognizing that this type of work is best done collaboratively, with different backgrounds, different ways of thinking, different skill sets, all of that, can play into effect, and then, the shared knowledge will definitely help us all be more successful. So with that, I guess I kind of want to just initiate a discussion essentially about, different ideas that we may have and goals that we can set around this. So for example, a conversation that I was, happy to begin with Blanca before she, moved on to doing her same work at I believe it's at the state level now, if I remember correctly. So excited to hear how that's going. But anyway, some of the questions that she posed to me were, I guess, just like what kind of things are you interested in, and or where do you go to find community, with some of her questions. That's kind of how she led into the conversation, and that flowed into food can be a big one. People's religious orientation can be a big one, where they find their faith, whatever that faith is. And then, just various, cultural corridor stuff like that. Unfortunately, we really only got to have one conversation on it before she moved on, and it was intended to be kind of unfolding over time. So again, that's kind of why I wanted to present it on this group level. But an example that she offered up was, rather than, going to Cub Foods, if you're going to be making, Mexican food, a Mexican meal one night, we have, dedicated at least a couple grocery stores in Richfield that are owned by people of, Hispanic origin, and make tortillas there on the spot the morning of, go frequent their businesses instead of, buying at Cub Foods. Not to say don't go to Cub Foods or anything like that, but, kind of utilizing more of the Richfield community and, building relationships with those business owners over time, and hopefully by that, building inroads within communities, encouraging them, their families to get involved, be it at, volunteer level, at, something more official like being commissioner, and even potentially city council, stuff like that, over time. I think what we have maybe 2 or 3 open commission spots right now, so not only would this benefit, diversity and self-representation of the very diverse community that we have here in Richfield, but also just making sure that we're having as many resources as we can here. We're not even to our full commissioner capacity. So yeah, kind of a long rambling lead in. Apologies, that was kind of all over the place, but really curious if anybody else has ideas along those lines of just how to engage with people in real and authentic ways, not like tokenized. One of the things that Blanca shared as well was, it can be traumatizing to have people come in and share their story and not engage with that in a real authentic way. And then essentially they kind of, it's like the topic of one meeting, and then it moves on, and it's just part of the history, the background again. Like, it's not what we want to do and not what I hope to achieve with this initiative. It's driving that authentic, relationship building across different backgrounds and communities within Richfield, and doing that in a really authentic way. So very, very broad, but semi-intentionally so. It's just, there's a lot of different things to include here. So if anybody has any thoughts to start spitballing here, it'd be great to hear.
I do, and I don't know if this fits in line with what you're actually describing, but you alluded to the open spots that we have, and I'm a strong believer in, nothing about us without us, right? So we can do whatever we want to do, but as long as we're not totally representative of the community, it's going to be incomplete. Just is.
Right. Yeah.
And so, I mean, can we do a targeted drive to make sure we're actually representative of the community when we think about filling those spots? Like, I
think that's an opportunity for sure for this year. Yeah, definitely. Because it is obviously it's going to be a long unfolding thing, but at the same time, like you're saying, we have those open commission spots. So it's a challenge, but also an opportunity for sure. So yeah, I like that idea for sure.
Well, then maybe the way to start is to identify organizations, whether nonprofits or churches, religious groups in the community that, would be good places to get the word out about the Human Rights Commission and invite people to attend and become members.
Are we accepting on a rolling basis? Because I know when I applied, it just seemed like January was kind of the deal, but it's broader than that.
I think it's just once a year that they take on new members. But again,
it's once a year, but we may have a second. We may have an interim opportunity to recruit some folks. So I think there were enough vacancies. We might do that.
That'd be great.
I was just going to mention when we have our clinic, our legal clinic, having just always being, you're making connections, not just to serve, but to find people that we can connect with too. And that could be good. And then when you mentioned faith communities, I was just thinking of Dar al Farouk, which is the masjid across the freeway, technically in Bloomington, but it's the closest Islamic place of worship. So folks in Richfield could tend to go there. So that, I know Mara has ties over there, and so that kind of thinking outside of the box or rectangle of Richfield to find Richfield folks.
That absolutely is. No, that's a very good point, Simon. What was the name of that again?
Dar al Farouk, DAR space AL, Farouk, FARUQ, I think.
We'll let Google do the rest of the work. Started and yeah.
I love that idea, Simon, and I don't know if this is possible too, but like I think a lot of outreach like this at the city and even state level tends to be very heavily skewed towards homeowners. And so being really intentional about making sure we're also representing like the renting community, which is fairly significant in Richfield anyway, would be
and growing.
Really awesome. Yeah.
No, I bet you Aon would love to share the resources with their residents and at Seasons Park, and if we could have it translated, that would be great. Does anybody here feel confident enough in their Spanish to translate our advertisements?
Yeah,
maybe.
We have two Puerto Rican lawyers here, and neither of us want to do the translation.
I think your abilities are better than mine, my friend.
Oh man, I que pena. So, Adrian, you think you could?
These days in writing, I'm better than in speaking. So
Do it. Do it. That's
if
great.
Do it.
if I'm our last hope, sure. But I would pass it along to our Puerto Rican legal representatives.
No,
before-
nope. That's
before it
Well,
goes into
disastrous.
public.
I'll tell you what, if he and I can read it, then it's probably good. So if we can understand it, anybody can understand it. So that's good.
Girlfriend in Honduras that I have proofread anything I do in Spanish. So if you want
That's great.
I'll give it
That's
to
great.
her.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a great tool to, sometimes the easiest thing to just ask people for help. People will help. I think if we reached out to the masjid at Dar al Farouk and we said this is it, but we'd like to um to have it translated, they might be open and willing to do that. And that could probably be an opportunity for us to be present there too. There might be a gathering that we can go and talk to just to recruit folks and just let folks know there are things like that I think particularly the Islamic based community feels so put upon is too light a word. Profiled and persecuted is maybe more direct. For those that aren't aware, that are newer to the neighborhood, the Dar al Farouk Mosque was bombed by some nutters, terrorists, and so they really welcome folks that reach out with goodwill, like Mara does. And so I think any opportunity that when people reach out with kindness, they're like, "Wow, thanks for reaching out and being kind."
Yeah.
So that's an opportunity to build a bridge in just
Yeah.
And
Over
I
the
think
bridge.
building that bridge
Yeah.
and saying we're building this, someone unfamiliar is reaching out right now, so that next time it's someone familiar, hopefully from your
Yeah.
own community who's joined this commission, right? That's the goal.
Yep.
Gonna hopefully snowball over time for sure. So yeah, no, that's like, this is exactly what I was hoping for, Simon. So I appreciate the chiming in with that. But yeah, that was one of Blanca's suggestions as well, was just, different faith communities getting involved if they happen to have an event, just being present, being mindful. So yeah, Simon, again, thanks for that one. Mara, sounds like you've got some maybe context there. We can build off of that. Then like Blanca said, there was the opportunity of just frequenting local businesses, small business owners of varying backgrounds. I think there's like a new cake place, right? What's that place called? I believe it's a Black-owned business.
Desertopia.
Desertopia. Yeah, okay. That's an easy one. I can definitely frequent that business for sure. But is anyone off the top of anyone's head, like what else can anybody think of in terms of, markets
I'm happy to do apartment legwork. Like, I think those are huge untapped communities.
For sure. No, that's awesome. And I think we can also work this in they mentioned the ongoing work of transforming the city. There's a survey, I believe, which would be really good to get some feedback from people that are, in apartments, and just, right alongside this conversation, basically anywhere we're going, trying to get people to be involved in the city, can also be getting their feedback on how to make their city better as well at the same time. So some good opportunities there. Sorry, was someone about to jump in with something there?
Somebody else calling through.
Oh, gotcha.
They came up earlier. Church of New Life, historically Black church in Richfield, that now is technically across the border in East Bloomington, but still has a lot of congregants from Richfield. I know Pastor Sam Nero over there, and I know Abdullahi, Sheikh Abdullahi, who's the imam over at Dar al Farouk too. So I'm happy to reach out to those folks.
That'd be wonderful.
Perfect.
And knowing when that came up in the conversation about, what happened here this week, something else to note here is that for the past 2 years, we've had completely open youth positions as well. So, another opportunity, especially given the context of this last week. It's obviously maybe a more deliberate approach. But there's definitely some people, I think, in that youth community that are probably feeling very strongly right now.
That's really good.
And if we can figure out how to engage with them as well.
Could we just put that ask out to the high school and middle school?
Yeah, I think we should have a liaison from the school board, correct? I don't know if we start there or if that's like our intermediary for working with the schools, or, you know, reaching out to principals or administrators directly.
Actually, either Mike or Susie, do you know who our liaison is for the school?
I have not heard that it has changed, so I am assuming it's still Allegra, but nobody has contacted myself or Deputy Chief Flaherty to let us know. So
Okay.
I have an
Tyler,
answer, but I don't have an answer.
That's an answer. Tyler, do you mind contacting Allegra and see if, tell her what we're trying to do, and see if she can assist with that, and if she's not the liaison, then maybe she can tell us who is.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. So
Yeah,
out of respect, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And Tyler, if you find out if the liaison has changed, can you let me know so I can update the roster and send them a meeting invite for the future?
Yeah, sure thing.
Thank you.
So out of respect to everyone's time, any further discussion on this?
I think we've got some good takeaways at the moment.
Excellent.
Definitely an ongoing conversation.
Perfect. Let's see. So I think that's everything for unfinished business, except for the review and modify the 2022 work plan. Does everyone have a copy of that?
I think, do we need to elect a secretary?
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I knew someone would remind me, and I knew it would be you. So we do need a secretary, and it's, I did take notes or minutes once or twice on the fly, and it's really not as bad as it may sound. It's just basically bullet points. Although I'm sure Tiffany's,
No, I actually, it's not bad. I'm just laughing because I'm typing on my old computer, and for some reason it's done this thing where it turns all of the text blue. So I'll be typing and then all of the text is blue. So I apologize, Susie, in advance if you get blue minutes, but I can kind of talk a little bit if you're okay, Walter, with
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so transitionally, we had an amazing secretary last year, and so you wouldn't be learning from me. I would actually I'm willing to, and happy to set up a Zoom call with all three of us, me, our old secretary, it's Mary, right? A name I belovedly forgot because I'm really
Chris,
bad
right?
with names. Yes. Okay, perfect. And she would just talk you through basically everything they do. They record minutes, they time keep, they make sure that me and Walter are in line. And honestly, it's gonna be a fun time. I highly recommend somebody step forward because it is a great opportunity to get involved. And just from typing these minutes, I do feel like I am more present at meetings, and it's kind of fun to see. I've been like intently listening at what people are saying. Not that I didn't do that before, obviously, but I think it's a really cool way to kind of get a seat at the table right away in the sense of a leadership role. So with that, Walter, I'll hand it back to you.
I think Tiffany said it all. We need someone to step up and take on this role, please.
Me and Walter are really cool to hang out with, I promise.
I'm okay. Tiffany's better.
I mean, true. I'm kidding.
That's cool.
Any nominations? So I know the process usually works like if you think somebody's going to be like a kick butt secretary or like a kick butt person, you can nominate them. Or if somebody thinks that they are going to be a kick butt person, they can nominate themselves.
I'm happy to nominate myself. I've served as a secretary several times in the past, so
You have just garnered a lot of appreciation, let me tell you.
I am
Tim,
Clap for
so
myself,
I'm happy
but
to be your backup when you either can't attend or just over it. So
That's worthy of applause also. Thank you.
I just couldn't do.
So,
Sorry.
nope, that's
Drilled
okay.
it too,
That's
just
okay.
like that. That was awesome.
Thank you very
perfect.
much, Tim.
So,
Thank you
okay,
very
so
much.
we do need a nomination from somebody else actually though, and then we need a second. So
I, Tyler, nominate Tim.
I second.
Okay, let me, Annie, you okay with that?
Yes.
Mara, are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Tiffany?
I am ecstatic.
Tim, I'm assuming you're okay with it?
yes.
Yes, and I'm okay with it, Tyler
Absolutely.
and Adrian.
Yes, and Tim, you're not on your own.
Thank you.
Perfect. Adrian, would you actually want to be part of the Zoom call that I talk with Tim and Mary about the notes, just in case you do have to do a backup or anything like that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect. I will organize something within the next month because you'll be ready for March. It's going to be great. You're going to have so much fun.
Excellent. So thank you both very much. Let's move on to the work plan. Does everyone have a copy of the work plan? Was it sent to you all?
So in history, that used to be the secretary's job. So the work plan probably will get sent to you all
Okay.
if I can find it.
I do have the, I'm looking at the one that was updated for January. You know, I think the only thing on there that, well, there's always the proclamations. Proclamations are something that we need to keep track of. And I tried to connect to the link concerning proclamations. I couldn't get to it. So that's something I'll have to work on to make sure we have access to it. The other thing is the annual report, which I will work on. I'm probably late with it, but I will work on that. That's my responsibility. The legal aid clinic's on there. The DEI, the work plan, obviously that's tabled until they have a DEI. Outstanding Citizen of the Year, that'll be coming up once we're told about that. PennFest is a ways off. So I think from my look at the work plan, I think we're in good standing. If anyone knows otherwise or thinks otherwise, just please say so. And next time we'll make sure that everyone has access to it. Susie, is that something that you could help us with to make sure everybody has access to the work plan?
Yeah, I can email it here shortly to everyone.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Open forum. Anyone else have anything else to say?
Chairperson Burke?
Yes.
Just a couple, I'm looking at my notes page here. Number one, I just want to reaffirm that you're committed to attending the February 8th City Council meeting for the proclamation for the Black History Month proclamation.
That is on my calendar, and my understanding is that's being remote, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's on my calendar, and I've been invited.
Okay, you've got the invite. Anybody else going to that?
Not that I'm aware of. If anyone else would like to go, we can make sure that the invitation is sent to you.
I mean, I think I might be the only Black person on the call. I think it sounds cool.
I will also
Okay.
be there.
Excellent.
Okay. I will let the city side know that we have 3 attendees total, and you'll get an invite. Let me see. Commission orientation.
The duration, no matter what.
What's that?
I said I'm there for the duration, no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
He's already there.
Yeah, sorry. Commission orientation, did we mention this? March 24th, 6 to 7:30. It's pretty informative. The city attorney is there, and it's a good thing for people to attend, especially new members.
Did new members receive that that email about the orientation?
Yes.
Tim, you received it? Adrian, did you receive it? Okay. Susie, would you mind sending it back out?
Yeah, I forwarded it to everyone on the commission because it's for new and existing members last week.
Okay.
But I can forward it again.
Okay.
I'll
Adrian's saying
double
that.
check too, Susie. It might just be user error on my part, so
Oh, okay.
I'll reach out to you, Susie, if I don't have it.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Thank you, Susie. I knew I saw that somewhere. And then the last, I can take it offline, but the legal aid clinic, the date that I think they had reserved was April 22nd. I think pushing it back due to COVID or whatever is probably a better idea. But Chairperson, are you going to firm up the date?
Yep, that's me. I'm part of the email chain
Okay.
that Chris had started, and I'll follow up on that.
Okay, thank you. Those were the things I had.
Perfect. Thank you for keeping me in line. Any other it's open forum? Any other comments or statements? Okay, I think, and Mara, correct me if I'm wrong, I need someone to make a motion to adjourn.
I move to
that we
adjourn.
adjourn.
Seconded.
Sorry.
Tiffany, did you capture that?
No, who said who motioned it?
Mara and I both did, but I'm going to take credit for it. So there.
Got it. And then I'm going to put in parentheses, definitely not Mara.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm kidding, Susie, I won't do that.
So Mara, you're in favor?
I am.
And Tiffany?
Yes.
And Tim? And Tyler?
Aye.
And Adrian? And me too. All right then. Well, you survived my efforts, so that's great.
Nice job, Walter.
Thank you for helping, and we'll see you all next month.